There were over 100 million orders for this dish on food apps in 2023 in India. I'm talking about biryani, but mutton biryani. Delicious goat meat marinated in yogurt and spices, then layered with fragrant rice and slow cooked till the meat is fall off the bone tender and the rice is cooked through. It's a one-pot dish that has most people drooling and wanting more. Horns up and welcome to Meet India, my series where I take you across the country showcasing the best meat and seafood dishes one state at a time. And today we're still in the state of Telangana in the city of Hyderabad because I just couldn't leave without making the world famous Hyderabadi Biryani. Now folks, I gotta be honest, Hyderabadi Biryani needs no introduction, but it is also a dish that is so spicy that I cannot eat it. I have never enjoyed Hyderabadi biryani in Hyderabad because it is too spicy for me. So today's version is going to be less spicy. It's going to be something that I can actually eat. And even though I love potato in my biryani, and for me biryani needs potato, I will respect the Hyderabadi tradition and not put potato in this biryani. But comment below and let me know if you believe that a biryani needs potato or not. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get cooking. We start with onions. Here I've got about 210 grams of sliced red onions which I've cut saute style and separated. We're going to deep fry these onions in some hot oil, and you want to fry them till they are nice and brown. You gotta be very careful and watch these like a hawk because you don't want to take them too far and burn them. Now you can fry up a big batch of these and freeze them and use them later. You can also purchase these onions online and in stores. They are called birista in India. Once you are done frying them, let's move on to making the biryani. Now I'm going to make a special biryani masala for this recipe. Normally you can just use the whole spices when you marinate the mutton, but I wanted to use this method to avoid having to deal with whole spices while eating the biryani. So to my frying pan I add 2 teaspoons of Shahi Jeera, 1 teaspoon Fennel Seeds, half a tablespoon Coriander Seeds, 4 cloves, 4 green cardamom, 1 stick of cinnamon, half a mace which is optional, and 1 bay leaf which I will tear into 2. And now I just get these nice and toasty and let them cool down before adding them to my blender jar and then grinding them to create my own biryani masala. It's time to marinate our mutton, and I'm using a biryani cut which you get at most mutton sellers in India. If you live outside India, you can read the blog post on headbangerskitchen.com for meat options and alternatives. We start by seasoning it with some salt, 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chilli powder, 1.5 tablespoons of the biryani masala I made, half a cup of mint leaves, half a cup of coriander leaves, couple of green chillies which I have de-seeded because I'm a spice wuss, half a cup of birista which are the fried onions, 1 cup of yogurt, the juice of 1 full lime, and then 1/4 cup of the oil that you fried the onions in. Now I get my sexy black glove and get to work mixing that meat into the marinade, and I give it all a good mix and then let it marinate for at least 2 hours. Let's talk rice. I'm going to use 2 cups of long grain basmati rice for this biryani, which I'm going to wash under some running water a couple of times and then soak that rice for a good 30 to 60 minutes. For this recipe, I'll be using some saffron as well, which I guess if you can't get, you can skip, but it adds a lovely flavor. Just add it to warm milk or water and mix it and let it bloom. It's going to add epicness to the biryani. To make our biryani, I get a pot of water on the stove to cook the rice, and I add in some salt, 1 teaspoon of Shahi Jeera, 3 green cardamom, 3 cloves, 1 cinnamon stick, coriander leaves, mint leaves, and a few de-seeded green chillies. And now give it a stir and bring it up to a boil. Then you add in your rice after draining it, and now you want to cook the rice till it's about 50 to 60% cooked. So this should take about 5 to 6 minutes. Let it cook, and once it's done, start removing it from the pot. Now I also take a minute to save about half a cup of that rice water for cooking the biryani. And then if you can't get it all out with a slotted spoon, just use a sieve or a colander and get all that rice out. Now I add the mutton to a heavy bottom saucepan, which is what you need to make this biryani. A nice thick bottom saucepan. Then layer on some of the rice. I add some fried onions, mint and coriander leaves, and a sprinkle of my biryani masala. Then layer on the rest of the rice on top. Now pour some ghee over that rice all around it. Then the saffron milk, more of the birista, the biryani masala, some mint and some coriander, and now it's ready to cook. Ideally, you want to make a dough to seal the lid, but this Le Creuset I'm using has a super heavy lid already, so I just place some foil over the biryani and cover it, and that should seal everything in. Now you want to cook this on a medium-high heat for about 10 minutes till steam starts coming out. Then you remove it, place a pan on the stove, and then you place your biryani handi on the pan and turn the heat down to the lowest. Now you cook this low and slow for about 45 to 50 minutes till the meat is fall off the bone tender and the rice is also cooked all the way through. Once it's done, just remove the lid and the biryani is ready. And of course, I've got to dive right in and give it all a mix and pull out some of that mutton and check if it's cooked properly. And it looks like it's done well. It's tearing apart nicely. And that's it, friends. Biryani is ready. It looks and smells delicious. I plate it up nicely, and then as always I got to give you that front camera shot. Got to get a spoonful of that rice and some meat, and then I chow down. And hot damn, that's good. But now, time for the official taste test. Alright folks, it's time to taste the biryani, and can you believe it? I'm alone. There's no one here to taste it with me. Which is a good thing because there's more for me then. But before I dig into this biryani, I did make one small error while cooking the biryani. I actually removed some of the water from the rice, which I meant to add to the mutton before I layered it with the rice. What that would have done is ensured a little more moisture in the biryani pot. And what I should have done also is made the chapati dough. So you basically make a dough with water and flour, and then you use that to seal the lid of the biryani vessel. That is called dum. Now I thought the foil and the heavy top of the Le Creuset would be sufficient to hold all the steam in, but I don't think it did the job as well as it could have. So I'll write it out on the blog post what you should not do and what you should do that I didn't do in this recipe. But enough jibber jabber, let's taste. Let's get some of the rice. Wow. Some of the mutton. That is very flavorful. As usual, I love it because it's not spicy. Like I said, if you can handle the heat, don't deseed your chilies and use regular red chili powder and not the Kashmiri red chili powder, and this will have the heat that the Hyderabadi biryani is known for. However, I'm too old and my body cannot handle that level of spiciness, so I would rather not suffer just to make the recipe exactly like, how spicy it's supposed to be. So I can actually enjoy this biryani and it'll be great. So for me, this is almost perfect. Like I said, if I did those two things, it would be even better. But I'm quite pleased with the results. I don't have my father or my wife here to give you a second opinion, but do try making this at home. Let me know how it turns out, and I will see you on the next episode of Headbangers Kitchen. Until then, cheers and keep cooking. But thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon and on the YouTube channel memberships. You are all awesome.